That's
how you want to change the game.
So that float box that Brian gave me, that I need your help putting onto my evaporator,
Yeah.
just having that will help me keep even more consistent boil rates. So just by adding that float box, I'll have a more consistent level because as I'm drawing syrup off, I've got to increase the flow like you saw 2 years ago. And it gets to be a balancing act, and it's really difficult to keep that flow consistent because if I increase the flow too much, I'll kill my boil or I'll push the syrup through. So the big thing for me next season is getting that float box. If I can put that float box on, dude, that's huge. And then um, maybe next year or the next season after next, there's an RO system I want to get. It's about 2 grand for the RO system, but it's a portable one. It can process about 120 gallons of sap an hour, and it'll cut my boil time in half if I go to that RO system. So if I can get the RO system, I can look at adding that other 120 taps. But right now, with having a normal full time job, no way, couldn't do it. Just
So
don't
you to
have the
quit your
time.
job next year, start your own, start your own.
Depends.
That's
It depends on
kind
how
of your
good this.
answer to your problem, isn't
It
it?
depends on how good this YouTube thing goes. I mean, I really, um, I would really like to have this YouTube thing take off and find a way to share this passion and share this knowledge I have with fishing and maple syrup and maybe try to monetize it. I mean, it just depends on how it goes. So, our trees were leaking today where the bark was split. Yeah, my trees were leaking today too because it froze last night. So just like in your house, how you've got an RO system for your water, your purified water in your house, an RO system for maple sap is the same thing. So you get out pure, clean, natural spring water, let's say, from one hose, and then your other hose, which is your bad water, is your high concentration sap. So I've seen guys, and there's one of the guys I went to school with at Ferris that actually made his own homemade RO system using RO systems for a house water system. So that's basically what it is. It's just a giant filtering system that runs the sap through micron filters, and you're filtering out all the high concentration sugar water. So if you think about it, if you can run your sap through an RO system one time and increase your sugar concentration from 2% to 4%, you cut your boil time in half. So that's why an RO system for me makes sense, especially a smaller hobbyist size one, because what took 58 hours this year to do, I could do in less than 30 hours next year. So an RO system, if I want to add more taps, I really have to either get a bigger evaporator that's got drop flues in it, or go to an RO system. And I think I'd rather go to an RO system right now, just because of how much sap you can take out per hour. So Rachel, what do you use for a defoamer? So I actually buy a commercial grade food defoamer. It's a liquid. I forget what it's actually called, but it's food grade. If you want to sell your syrup, you actually can't use butter, or I know there's some different oils people use like canola oil or vegetable oil or coconut oil, stuff like that. But if you want to sell your syrup, and what are you doing? Are you foraging right now?
No, I was moving some cylinders.
Oh,
Why is it loud?
it sounds like you're foraging something.
Oh no, I was trying to get some gas bottles away from the a spot where they could tip
Oh, gotcha.
over. So
Um, but it's I put it in a little spray bottle. Just one little spray will kill all the foam in my evaporator, in that whole 3 channel evaporator. So it's a food grade defoamer that a lot of producers use. My neighbors used to use butter. I used to use butter back in the day, but now because I'm selling it, I can't. So so how's the forge working?
works great.
Especially that 100 pound
I
tank.
Yeah, I finished up the wall actually today. I just posted it in my story, and like now it's all closed in on that east side, and just before it's like I had a bunch of debris and like leaves and little anything, something could catch on fire, like you get a road freaking spark going.
Yeah, I have
So
to deal
like
with that as
the
well.
idea of the shop burning down with all the wood in here is like very real. Like you can't get away from that reality. So now it's tidy, right? And it's there's not a lot of dust and clutter, so it's really nice. It's filled in. It's nice and all complete, so I'm happy about that. I still got to do the ceiling, but that forage area is getting really nice. My biggest problem is that I ran out of the Like I get drop cuts from Melrose Steel. They're in Troy,
Yeah.
and it's an outlet. So they have access. So you have access to getting drop cuts, which are really inexpensive when you're trying to get any kind of metal.
Yeah.
You're not paying for a full 4x8 sheet. You know, you're getting these nice cut coupons and just dimensional stock, which is really nice. And I burned through all my copper making copper roses, and I wanted to make some more because I got 7 of them made, and I was trying to make a dozen copper roses. So that project's done, so I can get more copper. But anyway, the outlets closed because of the pandemic. Like they were loading stuff into your truck.
Yeah.
You just call ahead, and you wouldn't even have to talk. You wouldn't have to touch anything because like it was all done by the phone. You pull the truck up in the back, and you throw it in the back, and you're good. So, but then they axed that, and they went to the main distribution place, which is not far from my house. It's actually really close. But they're like the main hub that cuts the sheets or sells the sheet stock for the outlets to cut. So I had her quote me some copper, and she just throws me out this number. She's like, "Yeah, it's like $930 for that." I was like, "What the what?"
No.
No, lady, I need a sheet. It's like 4 inches wide by like 36 inches, and or 48 inches. And she's like, "No, you must be used to dealing with the outlet. That ain't how this works."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh." So I got through my bill of material, right? And it was like $3,000, and I was like, I'm like, "When do I get the outlet back?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Until this blows over." And I was like, "Oh man." So I went back to where I had 3/8 stock and copper and some steel left still for like making leaflets and rings and things.
Yeah.
So kind of keep practicing on the leaves and keep hammering out those small pieces of jewelry. Things are kind of fun, and they're just cool little practice projects.
Do you have any of that stuff you can show these guys? You can show some of these guys?
I got to go outside real quick and grab it. I don't have it on. Well, I mean, I might have some broken stuff. I got all kinds of broken shit.
So I'll answer you guys' questions real quick, but yeah, my brother's actually hand forging copper leaves or copper roses. So
this is the kind of stuff like we were doing the other day, which is really fun.
Yeah, so like I said, give my brother a follow, man. He's making some really cool stuff. So
these ones I showed Aiden, I watched the YouTube video and then I told him how to make it.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
And he did it. It's actually a really cool Finial. Yeah, Finial, I think. It goes on the end. Like you make 2 of them. I have 2 of them, so you put a rod in between them and you hang like a tapestry from it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it looked cool. I have no use for it. Just made it to make
Hey, it's practice, right? Gets Aiden involved, so.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to some of these questions. So Rachel, you said that you had to use a lot of butter. Yeah, just DM me, Rachel, and I will gladly send you a picture of the foamer that I use. It's really inexpensive. I bought this $5 bottle. It's maybe a 8-ounce bottle for $5, and I've had it for 5 years. And I gave my neighbor, probably a third of it this year. So it doesn't take a lot. I put it in a little travel size like spray bottle that you can get at Meijer or Walmart. Just because one little spray in my 2x4 foot pan will kill the boil, or kill all the foam. So, Jim Maynard 75, if you want to direct message me, just DM me and say, hey, can you add me to your list? I'll put you on my list of people that want maple syrup. And like I mentioned before, I'm trying to work out the details as far as shipping.